The Isthmian Games were celebrated in the city of Corinth. They were a kind of Olympic Games in honor of Poseidon. The contestants would compete in different events, but the chariot race was the most prestigious. The best drivers took part in the sport. Among them was Phaethon, son of the Titan Helios, with the nymph Clymene. In case of victory in the chariot competition, the sun god promised his son to grant him anything he desired. Motivated by his father's promise, Phaethon won the hotly contested chariot race. After his victory, he boasted and said that he was such a good chariot driver that he could even drive his father's sun chariot. Helios was the god responsible for driving the sun chariot, guiding it from dawn to dusk. One of Phaethon's colleagues laughed in his face and said that only Helios could drive the sun chariot. Even his son could not achieve such a feat. Phaethon was furious at the remarks and decided to head to the far east, where the palace of the god Apollo was located. Upon arriving at his father's abode, he went to Helios' throne and told him that he already knew what he wanted as a prize for having won the race. More than anything else, he wanted to drive the sun chariot. Helios was startled by such a request, but there was nothing he could do, for the promise had been made. The goddess Aurora announced the arrival of a new day, and Phaethon was in his father's chariot, with the horses prancing and neighing. Helios advised his son to hold tightly to the reins without ever flinching, as the horses were wild and obeyed only those with a firm hand. Aurora ran ahead of the animals with her torch, and Helios' horses shot after her. Phaethon had trouble restraining them at the start. The task was more difficult than he imagined. During the great climb, Phaethon made a huge effort and used all his skill as a chariot driver to guide the horses properly. By midday, Phaethon had withstood the demanding test of the climb. He was now at the most relaxed part of the journey. The son of Helios felt like a true god contemplating the world from above, and because he was ecstatic, he eased off the reins. Feeling loose, the horses plunged toward the ground. Phaethon couldn't control them, and they were about to crash catastrophically into the earth. When the collision was near, the young man prevented the sun from colliding with the earth. But still, he was flying dangerously low. Everything below was scorched by the sun. Lakes and rivers evaporated, and the sea boiled over where he passed. Noticing that the sea was boiling, Poseidon went to Olympus to demand that Zeus act. Fearing even greater damage, the supreme god decided to strike Phaethon with one of his thunderbolts. The young man didn't even realize what had hit him, and fell from the sun chariot. Phaethon tumbled out of the sky like a shooting star. His dead body fell into the river Eridanus. The frightened horses returned to Helios' palace. Phaethon's remains were collected by the naiad nymphs and buried. Over his tomb, a monument was erected to the audacity of the young man who dared to drive the sun chariot. The journey of Apollo's son left scars on the earth. The region scorched by the sun became infertile and waterless. Today, this region is known as the Sahara Desert.